are going to look for opportunities that are beneficial to your career. Sometimes they don't think a Black Film Festival counts. So they will pass the Black Film Festival up and just do Sundance, just do the ones that are big and mainstream. And you can't do that. You can't pass over those who are culturally sensitive to you, those that understand who you are, understand your voice, who have lived some of the experiences. So that's why I think it's very important to have someone in the room that represents you well, who knows who you are, who knows what your goal is, where do you want to go, and how are we going to get you there. So they need to make sure that if there is a red carpet you're walking down, and I've seen this more times than I like to admit, they will do the carpet from the top all the way till it gets midway, until it becomes the Black media, Black outlets. Then all of a sudden they walk the A-listers or the B-listers right past those outlets, and they never stop to speak to those people who are going to write a real story about them, who really do want to. That story might be the one that gets them picked up and people are looking at their publication. It's important to do that. So make sure that you have someone who understands what's important to you, that if having a Black voice in a white world is very important to you, if having the authenticity of what you do is important to you, someone in that room has to be able to stop and say, no, she would never go for this, or no, this is not her brand, this is off-brand for this person. Just real quickly, and I know we're wrapping up, I have one client who is very elegant, who does not have to take just anything that's thrown at her. So when they send something to me that's completely off-brand for her, I can easily say no, where others are like, no, this is big money, this is going to get her a lot of attention. But is it going to get her the attention she's looking for? If it's just going to get her attention, that's not what we need. We are very specific and intentional about how we're branding and marketing this person. So no, that doesn't. Years ago, I worked for New Edition. They were my clients. Well, at that time, they just wanted a lot of attention. This one agency I was working for is one rep. They wanted just Bobby to constantly get in trouble or to do something or to push Bobby to do something so that they could keep them in the news outlets. And that doesn't work for me. So in that room where everyone looked nothing like me, they were not Black, as they were coming up with these gimmicks and things that, oh, tell Bobby to do this, or I was like, no, this group can stand on their brand. They have a following. They've built a following. We're not going to turn it into buffoonery because you want to push for this one person to do something to bring attention. So that's why I say you've got to know who is representing you and making sure that they have your best interests at heart, and that you're working with their team, and their team is aligned. So you don't have a manager or an agent is saying, yes, she'll do this, and then you have an attorney who's saying, well, no, that doesn't make any sense for her to do. Everybody has to be on the same playing field so that they understand when they walk in the room, whether it's your attorney, your agent, or your publicist, they're going to get pretty much the same answer. No, this does not work for our client.
Thank you all for that answer. That was great. I have one more question, and I'm going to open it up to the audience. And I just want to have Josh and Ashley explain the difference between, well, not explain the difference. So you both were agents at one time, but you're not necessarily agents now. Does a person need an agent if they have a great manager and a great lawyer? Something like the two of you are great.
Yeah, so I would say in the beginning, right, starting out your career, a manager and a lawyer is like a good 1-2 combo. Managers are not legally bonded by the state of California to be able to do deals. So like, even if I know what deal points and what I want the deal to be, I have to have Josh do it, which I prefer. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not trying to be, right? So I think early on, yes. When you get to a point, I actually have a client, we're going through this right now. He's been signed to me and my partner, Talitha Watkins, and he has a great lawyer. And now he's had this big moment, and now we're going to do agency meetings. Agents should come on when they have a real job to do. Because a manager, like the manager landscape has changed so much to where managers and agents, their jobs are very similar, but they're different in the way where an agent is like a salesperson, is how I think about it. Where I have 16 clients, an agent probably has like 80. And they're on 80 different teams, and especially they're a staffing agency is what you could think about, right? Like even with their A-list actors, they're looking at staffing them on jobs. Job after job after job after job, right? Those top actors are working. They're going to work every 4 or 5 months on a new movie or on a show, right? They're just constantly throwing different ideas and trying to get all of their clients staffed in a room, directing episodic opportunities, films, financing for films. There's film marketplaces where the departments, the film finance departments will go and they'll take packaged films that were packaged within the agency and then go sell in the marketplace. So your agent is there to really activate on your career in a way that is bigger. Now, I have the same access to like the studio films and things that are in the process, but where an agency comes in is the packaging. Packaging is something where you could see a film has a director, a writer, and all three leads of the film before it even leaves the building. And that's the power of the agencies, right? When I was at CAA, there were things that people wouldn't even know about, and they're like, dang, I would have wished I got an opportunity to audition for this. And it's like, you were never going to get an opportunity because it was packaged in-house. They got the 2 leads, so now all the B-rolls, C-rolls, D-rolls, that will go to the town. Right? So that's what you want an agent for. Whether you're an actor, a writer, a director, you want it for those elements of the power of what the agency can do. The power of introducing you to producers like Jerry Bruckheimer or Steven Spielberg and getting you in the next zeitgeist, right? You only want an agent on your team if they're really going to work for you, because otherwise you'll be sitting on their list and they're not doing shit. And honestly, that's what happens a lot because they're so overwhelmed. So that's why I look at it like they're salespeople. They are literally smiling, dialing all day, right? Like I'm on the phone a lot, but agents, like they're on the phone 10 times more than me because when you're a covering agent, you have to call the network every week to see what are the new needs because it's my responsibility to get that job for one of the CAA clients or one of the WME clients, right? So it's like a machine. And at a certain point as a manager, you do need that partner at a machine to get access to the things that I just wouldn't naturally know about because, I mean, the whispers I would hear there, it's like Bradley Cooper wants to do something with Selena Gomez, I'm making this up. In literally a month, that movie can be being put together. And then it has financing and boom, they're starting shooting next year, top of the year. You know what I mean? So it's really for that added element of getting you to the next level. There are different types of agencies where you have, not every agency is CAA, and I honestly suggest people look at all the agencies because I have some really great partners at Paradigm. I have really great partners at Bourbon. There's a lot of really great agencies that aren't the massive corporation that, you know, the big 3 are. But it is important to have an agency partner. It's hard to get an agent, so you need to have that manager that's like, no, this person's incredible. Agents aren't proactive, they're reactive. They want to sign, oh, that film was great, let's go sign the director. They don't want they're not a part of the building at all. They're like, you've arrived, now let's go get you some room money.
Everything she said, the only thing I would add to that is, as a writer, more than likely you're going to have a lawyer first because you have the IP. The IP is what you don't have a script, you can't make a TV show. You don't have a script, you can't make a feature film. So when you're a writer, everybody's going to try to get that from you. They're going to try to come to you with shopper agreements and option agreements, and there's pros and cons to both of those. They're going to try to make deals for that script. Like when you negotiate a deal for a script, there's a lot of tentacles that comes out of it. Right, there's a lot of separated rights. There's a lot of downstream rights that only a lawyer is going to know. And a good agent, imagine too, but a lawyer's really going to know that. So as a writer, more likely you're going to have a lawyer first, and hopefully a manager, right? But everybody else, whether you're a producer, a director, a comedian, influencer, the first person who normally believes you normally is going to be a manager. Managers tend to take more of a vested interest in you. which is why the average manager is going to carry between 20 to 25 clients. And the agent his job is, he's bonded by the state of California, so his job is to get you jobs, right? So the average agent is going to have 120 clients, right? So the agents are going to go out and procure the jobs for you. And the only person who can procure jobs and actually legally negotiate them is an agent or a lawyer. A manager can't. If you only have a manager and that manager is getting jobs for you, you know, you're flying by the seat of your pants, because if you was a nasty person, if you only have a manager and you get a bunch of jobs, you can actually go disgorge those profits from that manager if no one else negotiated that deal later on in life. So that's the only thing I would add to that is, managers are usable, personal agents are usable.
Thank you, Ben. So we're gonna open up for questions. We have time for about 2, but I just wanted, the takeaway, I believe, is the build is slow. You have to make sure that you have representation, legal representation. Your manager will be very helpful to you. You will get a publicist, okay? But at some point, you get a publicist, and let the agents find you. So let's think about it that way, not coming out the gate, I got a script, I need an agent, right? Okay. I have time for 2 questions, 2 really good questions.
So I did first.
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Tougher Fred, and yes, I definitely agree with the being able to get into the